Is your gym. We're going to tap into that. I'm a naturopath. I'm all about incorporating a whole food, plant-based or vegan lifestyle with what I teach. So I just want to get started right away with a video and then we'll continue, okay? Here we go. Maybe. There's a play button on the bottom. I love technology when it works. There's a play button at the bottom of that. There we go. It's embedded. Just push play. Okay, evidently it's not working, which is a real bummer. But I can tell you a little bit. Did you hit play again? Okay, all right. Well, here's what it's all about. I'm just going to tell you. So this video is talking about the power of unlimited greatness, okay? And how so often we're not tapping into our unlimited greatness. And so there's these young athletes, these young little kids that are being told, oh, you can't do that. And they're like, watch me. So the power of the mind is what enables us to take the steps that aren't necessarily something that we're used to even being able to experience because we've never done it. So it's that faith walk versus that fear, okay? So it's about tapping into our unlimited greatness through the power of our mind, our body, and our spirit. So that's what the video is. And then you see these athletes going on to do some amazing things. So it's a little motivational there. But we're going to go ahead and talk about what does unlimited greatness look like for you. All right? You may have never really thought of that. Like, what does that look like for you? It might mean I want to be without pain and aches. Maybe it's I want to go climb a mountain. Maybe it's I want to get on the floor and play with my grandkids and be able to pop right back up without any, hard situations of trying to get up, right? So, like, what is that greatness for you? And typically it starts with our why. When we have a deep-rooted why, then we can tap into that unlimited greatness, okay? I want to tell you a story real quick about my buddy Pete. Before I do, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to understand the power of how your health is your true wealth. Honestly, without your health, you can't do anything else. You can't go to work and be your fullest best self at work. You can't show up in your family and be your fullest best self. So we're going to talk about that and how your body is your gym. I'm going to give you some practical tools that you can walk away with today that will better your health and your lifestyle, okay? But here's Pete. Pete is someone I worked with a while back with my program Visibly Fit. And he was diabetic, he had arrhythmia, he had all kinds of issues going on with his body, as you can see. He was in a desperate place and he was ready to get healed. He's almost 70 years old, and his big goal is he wanted to get off medications. Yes, he wanted to look better, but he wanted to feel better. And that's the main thing. He wanted to get off meds, and he wanted to climb a mountain. He's 70. The last time he had climbed the mountain that he wanted to climb, he was 17. And so that was our goal. I worked with him for about 11 months, and he released, and I'm going to talk about that word released here in just a minute, but he released 110 pounds and 65 inches. And he got off all his medications, you guys. So it's so exciting, the power of a vegan or plant-based lifestyle along with proper exercise. It doesn't have to be grueling. It doesn't have to be that you go to the health club every day. Now, if you do, that's great, but it may not be for you. So there's other options. Now, this is my friend Deb, and she used to be a junk food junkie, right? She thought, oh my gosh, I could never eat salads every day. Are you kidding? You know, the drive-thru was calling her name every time she drove past the next one at each corner. And so she'd never had the time to work out, but yet she did. She just didn't make the time, right? So it's all about that same 24 hours in a day that you have and that I have. It's about becoming a priority in your day. So she was a single mom, she had serious allergies, she was on medication, and just in 7 weeks, I know it's hard for you to see this slide, but just in 7 weeks of being on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle and exercising, using her body as her gym, she released 35.4 pounds and 29 inches. That's a lot in 7 weeks. And she got off her medications, and she got her life back, and she got her confidence back. And it's so exciting because as a single mom, she hadn't been on a date in a long time. And she called me the other day and she said, "You're never gonna believe this, but I asked a guy out." So that's kind of cute because it gives you that confidence again, right? You feel good showing up in your skin in a new way, and you show up at work in a new way. So that's a couple stories I want to share with you about unlimited greatness. And she, since then, it's been 5 months, and she has now released 71 pounds. I just talked to her. Yeah, it's huge. Thank you. Yeah, I wish she was here to talk about it. So let's talk a little bit about the mind, because this is a holistic approach. As a naturopath, I'm all about a holistic approach. And how we think is how we do our actions or don't do our actions, right? So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So as we're thinking in our mind and in our heart is how we go about our life. So let's talk a little bit about our mind. A lot of time we are in a fear-based mindset. We are afraid, not just afraid of failure, but a lot of times we're afraid of success, right? We're afraid of what others might say about our new lifestyle. Okay, and that's a big deal, because whether it's in our family or around the friends that we normally hang out with, we don't want to be rejected, right? I mean, nobody wants to be rejected. We want to be included. So when we have this fear-based mindset, it keeps us from doing the very thing that you really deeply desire to do, and to tap into that unlimited greatness, okay? And that's what I want for everybody, is just to tap into the unknown, if you will, and know that there is more waiting for you. You can do more than you even have probably ever thought possible. You just have to step into that space. So, our words matter. So life and death are in the power of the tongue. So I'm just curious, what are the words that you speak over yourself? Like, words matter. You know, it's like they've done scientific studies where they have two plants, right? One plant is in one room, another plant in another. They water it, they nourish it the same. But in one room, they are talking to that plant with loving, kind, beautiful words, and there's beautiful music playing. And then in the other room, they are talking negativity to this plant and hateful words and I don't know if I would even call it music, but wretched music that wouldn't thrive with this plant. And that the plant literally starts to die. It starts to just fade away and decay and die. And so I think it's fascinating, because we are spiritual beings living in a physical body that really thrive on what we are saying over ourselves, what others say over us. And so it's important to have positive thoughts, right? Positive words that come out of our mouth. It really says a lot about our health. Now, again, chatter change. We have a lot of thoughts in a day. I'm going to go ahead and pull all these up. We have approximately 2,100 to 2,800 thoughts an hour, which is a lot. We speak on average of 20,000 to 47,000 words a day. Maybe women, you're speaking a little bit more than men. I'm kind of generalizing there. Could be the men if you're a yellow. But the words you speak, there's a lot of chatter going on, and there's a lot of chatter in our mind going on. So 70 to 80% of those thoughts and those words are actually negative, right? That's a lot. That's a lot. So we need to reverse that and start speaking life over ourselves, start speaking life over other people with loving, kind words and kind thoughts. And so 98% of those thoughts that you have every day are the same ones you had yesterday and the same ones you had the day before. So it's like you're on this vicious cycle, right? You look in the mirror and you say, oh, all right, I got another wrinkle, or whatever you're kind of dogging on yourself about. So instead, let's turn that around and say, wow, you are amazing, you look good, you're alive, you're well. Start speaking some positive words. You're beautiful, right? You're handsome. So our chatter is important. Again, 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Now, words can shape our realities. That's what I'm saying right there, all right? That's important, words that we speak. Now, let's jump to the body, because I think that's why most of you are here. You want to know, how is my body my gym? Your body really is your gym. You were born with everything that you need to be healthy, whole, and complete, and that even means your body as your gym. Now, as we continue to age, our body can't handle quite as much as maybe we used to do to it. So we're going to learn some things today that maybe you've never thought of before, but it will really empower you to touch into your unlimited greatness in a new way. And again, a new thought process around exercise and working out, because exercise is the most potent and underutilized antidepressant, and it's free. It's free. We just need to move our bodies. You're going to hear, of course, a lot about the lifestyle of eating a whole food, plant-based diet or a vegan lifestyle, right? Because that is so important too. It's like a hand and a glove. They go together. You can't do one without the other and be fully equipped and fully healthy, okay? So you got to move your body. You got to eat well to lose, and you got to move to lose, okay? And to just stay healthy and well and strong and fit and vibrant. So you can't outrun or outwalk a bad diet, right? And you can't outrun from yourself either. Now, what do I mean by that? So I talked earlier about releasing weight, right? A lot of times we want to lose weight. I want us to think about releasing weight, because the truth is, so often we need to release the emotions that are attached to the weight, okay? Those negative thoughts, those negative emotions are actually causing havoc on our bodies at a cellular level. They cause inflammation in the body. It's a big deal. So I want us to start learning how to release. And what does that look like for you? Well, maybe it's something about, maybe you need to forgive somebody. Maybe you need to forgive yourself for something of the past, right? Instead of hanging on to that very thing that isn't going to serve you today or in the future. Maybe there's some anger or resentment or something from your past that's keeping you kind of just at that place of, and it's actually keeping the weight on you more than you realize, and it's causing inflammation in the body, again, at the cellular level. So we want to not run from ourselves, but think about forgiveness as the reason why we would want to change and release the unhealthy weight that is attached to our body. And so what is our motivation? First of all, 68.7% of Americans are considered overweight or obese. And that number is actually climbing. So our goal is to reverse that quickly and rapidly, because our health, our true health, that is our true wealth, is at our own fingertips. We have the power. We have the power to change, okay? So, again, you must eat to lose, and you have to move to lose, but you got to forgive to release, all right? And so knowing your why you want to step into that space is so important. Now, a lot of my clients, I do a 7-week program, like you saw Deb that went through it, and a lot of them are like, my why is that I want to go on a cruise in a couple months. Now that's like, okay, why? But let's dig deeper, right? Let's really tap into the power of really why do you deserve to be in a healthy place, right? And why do you want to change your current situation that you're in? You heard Dr. Jim Loomis talking about how he was 60 pounds overweight, and he's a doctor, right? And he watched Forks Over Knives and immediately just changed. And now he's going to be doing the Ironman. I mean, that's fantastic. Talk about unlimited greatness. That's where it's at. And he's 60 years old. So it doesn't matter your age or your athletic ability, but knowledge is power. And you put that knowledge into action, and that's where the real power begins. Now, I have on here that your body begins to atrophy just after 20 minutes of either sitting or 20 minutes of standing. How long have you been sitting? Should y'all stand up? All right, let's stand up. Now, if you're eating, don't worry about it. But the body actually does start to atrophy. Dr. Joan Vernikos, she used to work with the astronauts, and against watching them as they were not working against gravity, and started to see that their body literally started to shut down in different areas, muscular and just their circulatory system started to literally shut down after 20 minutes. So we have to work against gravity. So if you're sitting all the time at work, stand up every 20 minutes. Just stand up, do a few calf raises, that kind of thing. You're gonna be working against gravity, right? If you're standing a lot, then what you'll wanna do is do some squats, right? So like Dr. Delaney said, squatting, when we have strong legs, is a less chance for us to have to deal with any kind of dementia or Alzheimer's. So we need strong legs, but it's going to get that blood flow going, right? And you're going to be working against gravity. You're going to keep building your bone health, which is important, and they're just simple things. Now, I'm about to jump in real quick and talk about some of the exercises that I teach through Visibly Fit. Now, I know most of you are familiar with isotonic exercises, right? So, for instance, if you go to the health club or wherever at home and you have a dumbbell in your hand, right? And you're doing a bicep curl, all right? That's an isotonic exercise where you have that same kind of resistance all the way through the movement, all right? Isometrics, and you probably know this, I'm just refreshing your mind, but isometrics are kind of more of a static contraction. They are like, what I like to do is work one body part against another. For instance, something like this. Okay, so I'm pushing one arm against the other with the same amount of force, right? Now, if I want to make it more of an isotonic, then I can move this isometric like so. So you're kind of doing an isotonic and an isometric all in one. So it's kind of fascinating, but I wanted you to just understand the difference. But here are some exercises that anyone can do at any age. That's my son right there. He would probably be mortified because he's 18 years old and he would never want me to have that on the slide. But he's cute, and that's why I have him up here. So these exercises that I teach, again, they're called Visibly Fit. I'm going to walk you through 7 of them, okay, just 7. I have hundreds, and in fact, you can come see me afterwards. I have DVDs that are discounted for you guys over on the side. But the reality is that when we are lifting too much weight, for instance, it can put really a lot of stress on our joints, tendons, and ligaments. And as we're aging, our bodies aren't necessarily able, for some of us, to use high level amounts of weight. So you tend to go more for low weight, more rep, right? But as we're aging, or any age, whether it's kids, I've worked with 92-year-olds, I've worked with all levels of ages, but you can actually create the weight by just using your mind. Your mind is so powerful, you do not need the weight in your hand. So doing that bicep curl I was talking about, that isotonic, all you have to do is imagine the weight in your hand. Now, it may sound a little weird for some, but I've been doing this for 20 years, a long time. And all you have to do is imagine. Maybe it's 10 pounds, maybe it's 30 pounds, maybe it's 50. I don't know how strong you are, but you do. Now, you'll see that I'm kind of shaking here because I'm using a lot of tension, a lot of flexion. Now, what I'm trying to do is help you eliminate excuses for not moving your body, all right? A lot of people say, oh, well, I don't have a gym membership, or I don't have weights. It's okay, you don't have to. Your body is your gym, okay, literally. So I'm going to show you just 7 exercises. I know it's a little warm, but I want you to walk away here empowered with knowing these exercises that you can incorporate throughout your day, okay? And it will allow you not to feel like you need to be a slave to the gym or a slave to like a really long workout, because you can do movement throughout the day and it's just as effective. In fact, I just had a magazine contact me, and they wanted me to have some responses to their questions. And they said, what about this HIPAA is what they're calling. I'm like, well, are you talking about with insurance? What are you talking about? And they said, no, it's HIIPA, so it's high intensity incidental physical activity. And they're calling it new. I'm like, I've been doing this for 20 years. It's nothing new. And so they're talking about when you are doing something that you already do in your day, like I'm just going to use go in the bathroom, okay, because we all go to the bathroom. Then you do an exercise when you go to the bathroom, like after you're done with that. you know what I'm saying. But during that thing that you're going to be doing anyway, or every time you get up to get a drink of water, you attach an exercise to it. Does that make sense? So you're already doing this thing anyway. You just start to create neurological association with a habit of exercising while you're already doing functional daily living, okay? So for me, I just work it in throughout my day. Now, if you have 30 minutes or an hour to work out, great. Not everybody does. I travel a lot, I'm on the road a lot, and it just works for my lifestyle, it works for a lot of people's lifestyle, and it eliminates excuses. So I'm going to walk you through these. Those of you that want to join me, I'd love for you to just to experience the power of these moves, and so also knowing that they don't put stress on your joints, tendons, and ligaments. They build muscle, and they help to shed fat, okay? And all of my clients have been doing these for many, many years. So I'm just going to put this up here, right here. Actually, I'm going to do my best to describe it, and then I'll put the mic down. It's hard to do it with a hand on the mic. So here's what I'm going to want you to do. When you stand up with me, are y'all going to do it with me? Come on. You didn't know. You just thought you were going to sit here and listen. I understand. All right. So I just want you to get the gist of this. Okay. I want you to put both of your hands out like this. Now you're going to have flexion and tension. So I want you to flex your arms all the way through, fingertip to fingertip. Now, I want you to bring your arms forward slowly, as if you're squeezing against one of those big exercise balls, like this. Nice and slow. And bring it back. And if your neighbor's acting up, you can slap her upside the face. This is what's going on right here. I'm just teasing. So you would do that 8 to 10 to 12 times, depending on your athletic ability and just the level of tension you are applying, okay? Now, again, you're flexing, you're tensing, you're working your chest, your shoulders, your biceps, your back. You're working everything, your traps. Even your forearms are working, okay? So it's powerful. You don't need any equipment. You don't need any space except for maybe with your neighbor, but they're powerful, all right? I'm going to walk through these others really quickly just for the sake of time, okay? In case you guys have questions over the side you want to ask me. So the next one, I'm going to show you like this. You put your arms one in front of the other, like the Hulk. All right, and then I want you to use that same level of tension and flexion as you bring your arms back, like a seated row, okay? Like this. I want you to pinch your shoulder blades together really tight, and then bring your arms back in front and alternate arm in front. Good. All right, do you feel that? You've only done a couple, right? So the stronger you become, the more weight you lift, okay? So you can't outgrow this, and you're not going to become injured. And in fact, it helps to heal injuries, and that's how I came to it 20 years ago. I was in a snowmobile accident. I live in Minnesota, and was going way too fast, about 55, 60 miles an hour, and hit a snow-covered culvert, went flying through the sled, and hit a tree. I broke my clavicle, tore a bunch of shoulder muscles. They wanted to do surgery, and I did not do surgery. I healed my body in record time with the exercises I teach. So there's healing power with them too, okay? So that's why I want to share them with you, because they are powerful. Now the next one, I'm going to go fast again, is just bring your arms right like this. Yep, you have the back of your palms kissing, and then you're just going to rotate your arms around with flexion and tension. This is for your triceps. Good. Now that one's a little different. Sometimes you need to look into the mirror and get that positive affirmation that you're squeezing and flexing. A lot of times I talk about how, you know, bodybuilders, when they're on stage and they're flexing, they're posing, that's what they're doing, right? So we're kind of acting like bodybuilders right now on some level. But that's the same style of these moving isometrics, if you will, okay? All right, here's the exercise that healed my shoulder. I know y'all are warm, or really maybe too warm, so I'll go fast. It's called the high reach. This is how it looks. Rotate your upper body, your hips stay facing me. Twist, and then you reach with all your might. Reach, reach, reach. And then I want you to pull down. And I want you to use your lat right here. Pull, pull. Good. Now twist to the other side. And reach. And pull. Again, using your upper back, your lat, right here. Good. Feel that? Feel that? Okay, 3 more. We're going fast. Okay, next one, similar in the sense that you just rotate your upper torso. Again, you're working your abdominals. You're going to do a high reach, okay? So you're going to slowly twist, and you're going to reach up with all your might, okay? And then you slowly pull down like a heavy rope, and you exhale on the way down, and you pull in your stomach. Okay, very good. Other side. You're reaching up with tension, flexion, as hard as you can. And then pull. And you're pulling that stomach back to your spine. You can feel it all the way around your abdominals. Your abdominals wrap around your low back, okay? So, very good. Deep breathing exercise is the best abdominal exercise, and you don't have to get on the ground. All you have to do is breathe. This comes in handy when you come into a little slump in your day and you're feeling a little lethargic. Instead of reaching for any kind of vending machine or something that doesn't serve your body, you might just need water, and you might just need to breathe, okay? It helps with those stressful situations. So, all you're going to do, if you feel lightheaded, make sure you sit down. We're just going to do it one time. But put your hands right here on your abs, okay? And I want you to inhale big through your nose. Lift your chest up and out. And then exhale out your mouth, taking your stomach down and back to the spine. So you release as much breath as you can until you're like, you just push it out, and you can feel it all the way into your low back too, right? Yeah, very nice. So that's something that will really be an incredible abdominal exercise. It'll also help get your blood circulation and your mind getting sharp just by doing that deep breathing exercise. Last one quickly is we're going to do a squat, because squats are powerful, just like Dr. Delaney said. All right, so I like to put my hands in an isometric press, so that was one arm pushing against the other like this. And this doesn't look so pretty, but they're powerful. Again, we're going to use slow, controlled movement. We're going to think about the muscles that are working, which are our quads, right? Our glutes, our low back, stomach's pulled in tight. And I want you to slowly squat it down. And if you have knee issues, just go as far as you can, but make sure the bottom is out. Knee is in alignment with your heels, okay? So you're squatting down, nice and slow. I like to tell people, this is a visual, pretend like you're on a public toilet seat. That's a visual, right? All right, now slowly bring those legs up and squeeze those legs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And when you get to the top, push the pelvis forward and squeeze the glutes, okay? Very good. Give yourself a round of applause. That's awesome. Now you would do, again, 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 of each one of those. They don't take very long. It takes about 12 to 15 minutes once you get into the rhythm, and it's something that will help you build muscle and shed fat and not put stress on your joints. So I wanted to share that with you guys, and they're right here and also on a little flyer that my husband is passing out. So kids can do it. It's a lot of fun for kids. Elderly people can do it, just sitting on the couch. Not the squat part, but everything else they can. So it is empowering to know that you can do any kind of workout using the isometrics and isotonics, just using your body as your gym, okay? So, walking, that's my other favorite. In fact, I do a free walking challenge, and it's powerful just to see people release weight, and they're just walking. They're not even doing the whole food plant-based diet or vegan lifestyle yet. I'm working on that with them, but they're moving their body, and there's so many benefits. Anyone can walk. The goal is that we want to do about 10,000 steps a day. That's 5 miles. It doesn't mean all at one time. I use this because I like to track my steps. It motivates me. You can use your phone, you can use a step counter. They're not always that accurate, but it helps to kind of challenge yourself a little bit. So I encourage you to get a tracker. But walking is one of the best exercises that anyone can really do. So I really encourage you to walk. Great benefits. There's a form actually of how to walk. A lot of people walk head first. Some people are pelvis walkers. So we really want to make sure the body is all stacked in alignment to protect our spine and to have good posture with our alignment. We want to make sure our arms are at a 90-degree angle. A lot of times people hang them loose and their fingers end up getting swollen, right? And because all the fluid is being drained to the bottom of their fingers. So keep your arms up. You can power walk better when they're in a 90-degree angle, okay? Your shoulders are relaxed. Your hips are facing forward, and you really strike the floor with a heel-to-toe roll. Some people are, they got big calves, right? They're walkers like that. That's fine, but because that's just probably how they've done all their life. But I want to just really try to reinforce the proper way to walk to keep everyone in alignment. Would be a heel-to-toe strike, okay? And you want to be able to ease into any fitness plan. So with those 7 exercises I showed you, with walking, that's an ease into plan. That's a I can do it. That's a no excuse kind of plan. And that's really where I'm so passionate about not only getting you guys to eat and fuel your body best, but to move your body. When we move our body, it helps to get rid of the inflammation. Moving our body helps create and produce neurochemical transmitters and neurochemicals that will help with our brain cell repair. So to help, with dementia or Alzheimer's, walking is one of the best medicines, if you will, just walking, okay? So it helps to scrub the plaque from the brain, walking. And if you're ever having an issue where you're kind of in a funk, you don't have any creativity, maybe you feel kind of depressed, kind of one of those days, get up and walk. It's going to release positive endorphins in the brain, okay? Those happy hormones, and you're going to feel so much better. So just taking a quick walk around the block, or pretty soon you'll probably say, oh, you know what, this feels so good, I'll go a little further. So challenge yourself. Let's tap into that unlimited greatness, right? All right, very good. Now I want you to meet Bonnie. Bonnie, she went through my 7-week program, and she's 68 years old, and she's awesome. She was on the couch. She used to do daycare. She was eating ice cream every day. She was depressed. She was taking naps in the afternoon. She was on medication. Well, pretty soon, she got off her antidepressants. She was running 5Ks with her son. That's her dog and her son. And she no longer feels overwhelmed or stressed or that anxiety feeling. She is like a powerhouse. Like, it's so fun to see Bonnie go. And she is like, I'm going to do a 10K next year. I mean, she's just ready. She's got so much energy. And it's all about eating to fuel her body best and moving. Moving matters, okay? Now, one of the things that we think about is, everything in moderation. If I do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, well, it's all about the consistency, actually. Because I would say that moderation kills momentum, okay? And I don't know if you've heard that before. It's something that I teach a lot, but a lot of people want to just dabble. I want to encourage you not to dabble. I want to encourage you to go the distance, to do what maybe you've never even done before, but to step up with consistency, because you are your most important appointment. Kind of like on the airlines, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first, right? Before you help those around you. It's okay. It's not selfish. It's selfless to take care of yourself, okay? It is selfless. So do that. Make yourself a very important appointment and keep that appointment, all right? So, very good. And this is what the brain looks like just after a 20-minute walk. You can see how it's activated. You can see after sitting, there's no red activity. There's nothing going. I mean, nothing going on in the brain, but you know what I mean. It's kind of just sedentary. And again, if we don't move our body, then it's not putting enough blood throughout our body and releasing those neurochemicals for brain cell repair. And that's what we want. We want to have more creativity. We want to get more done. We want to have more energy. And all that can just come with a healthy eating lifestyle and walking and doing certain exercises like I was showing you. So what I'm saying is, yes, your body is your gym. So no more excuses, right? When you guys leave here, you're gonna get out your calendar when you get home, and you're gonna start putting yourself on your calendar, right? Like, okay, 2 o'clock, that's my time. 5 o'clock, start putting yourself on there again as your most important appointment. Now, again, I said that there's 3 components to being a holistic well-being, and it's mind, it's body, and spirit. So the spiritual is something that everyone should want to tap into, and because we're spiritual beings living in a physical body, right? So what is that for you? You know, your creator is pretty awesome. And talk about that unlimited greatness. We have it. We are created in his image. And so are you tapping into your unlimited greatness? So I encourage you to meditate. I encourage you to pray. I encourage you to go on a walk and have those moments of solitude and listen to nature. I mean, you know, you get divine creativity just by taking walks. And so really tap into understanding who you are and the power of your unlimited greatness, okay? Because we only just tap the surface. We don't really dig deep into that why and dig deep into what we are fully capable of. In fact, our bodies, when we think we're done with working out, we actually have 40% more capacity to do more. So don't let your mind trick you to think, oh, I'm done, or even your body trick you and say, oh, I'm tired. You can go 40% more, all right? So test yourself. And again, I talked about how forgiveness and surrendering those emotions will help to release unhealthy weight and tap into a new you, tap into today and future, not past stuff. So take the moment to release those emotions that are attached to the weight. Because I do know that the struggle is real. I work with clients all the time, and life happens, right? It's not always easy. In fact, I'd say it's not easy. But we get to choose our emotions around it. We get to choose how we show up. And we get to choose how we talk to ourselves and talk to others. And that really makes a big difference in our homes, in our community, and basically the world as a whole. So let's start showing up in a new way for today and not staying in that past. So the struggle is real, and a lot of times I think we use distraction to kind of nullify the pain, right? And sometimes that distraction is food. Food can be that thing. It's counterfeit comfort. When I say food, I'm talking unhealthy choices of food. Because when you're eating healthy and well, just solid, whole food, plant-based options, then your body's going to not be hungry and you're not going to continue to eat a head of broccoli. You might, and if you want to, go for it. You can have as much broccoli as you want. But typically, people are trying to stuff their emotions with unhealthy food choices. So I just want to tell you that pay attention, be present, and not look at the distractions, and just be present, and again, release and have that forgiveness. Meditation and prayer, like I said, it is a protectant against depression and even dementia and Alzheimer's. There's scientific studies around that, so prayer and meditation is huge, huge. Social connections, like Dr. Jim Loomis was saying, the social hour, happy hour, if you will, around alcohol. It's really more about people want to be social. It's about the social aspect. So being here at Veg Fest is awesome. This is what it's about. This is community. It's showing up. It's not just Facebook. Like, we're live people, right? That's so important to show up and be a part of community and learn from each other and just smile as a total stranger and just show up in a new way. So that's very good. Really quickly, yes, How does food play a role? It plays a big role, because you can't eat the standard American diet of donuts and fast food and that kind of thing and expect to change. That inflammation will set in, and it doesn't matter what kind of level of activity you're doing, your body is suffering. Your body is suffering, and it'll be going through toxic hunger, okay? So very important that we shift away from the unhealthy foods. And then, of course, Dr. Jim Loomis was talking about protein. Where do you get your protein? Because as someone that is always teaching about fitness, and I get that question all the time. So, this right here, it says, this little guy is saying, no meat at all? Are you sure? Are you sure you're getting enough protein? Well, I think that gorilla's getting just enough protein, and he's a plant eater. He's doing just fine. And then broccoli, right? For 100 calories of broccoli, it has 11.1, I think it's grams of protein, where meat, 6.4 grams in 100 calories. So the ratio is totally different. Why wouldn't you eat broccoli or kale or spinach or just plants for your protein? Because that's where it's at. And then you're not going to have the inflammation, the saturated fat, and all the issues, the heart disease that goes along with eating meat. So there's plenty of vegan proteins out there, you guys are aware, from beans and legumes, and like I said, all the plants I mentioned. From nuts and seeds. So there's a lot more options. And not all calories are created equal, like Dr. Jim Loomis was talking about as well. Our bodies and begging, it's not just asking for, it's begging for nutrient dense and rich foods that are going to release those and have those phytochemicals and phytonutrients that heal our body naturally, that provide it with the right kinds of vitamins and minerals to repair our muscles after workout, to continue to make sure that healthy new cells are being created instead of unhealthy ones. We want to have a plant-based vegan lifestyle. So it also takes about prepping, right? I do lots of salads in a jar for my husband and my family, because when you're set up for success, then there's no more excuses. So again, remember I was saying mark yourself on your calendar as an important appointment? That means you're prepping for your week. My days all look different. You may not be able to work out every day at 5 a.m. That's okay. Again, start working out little bits throughout the day. Maybe it's 1 or 2 exercises every hour. Maybe it's while you're waiting for water to boil, you're doing squats. When I'm blow drying my hair, I'm doing squats, all right? So again, it's starting to think about life differently. When certain things are on the stove and I'm waiting for them to cook and they just need, or maybe it's my oats, because oats take a little while, steel cut oats. I'll run up and down my stairs. So start just squeezing in little bits of exercise in those moments where you're just waiting, right? So start to think about it differently. It's powerful. But salads in a jar are big. Grab and go baggies of veggies that you can take to work. That's all going to set you up for success. That way you're not famished, you're not hungry, and you're saying, oh, what am I going to eat? Well, you've got it. You've got it right there. It's all good. So that's important. So let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And I promise your workouts will go better. You're going to feel more healthy. And they go hand in hand. Healthy, whole food, plant-based diet, vegan lifestyle, and working out using your body as your gym is where it's at. So we understood that health is our true wealth, right? Because if we don't have our health, we can't do as much like we'd want to, right? Maybe you have a mountain to climb, like I was sharing about Pete. Maybe, like I said, you just want to get out and run and play with your kids or your grandkids. What is it for you? Find that deeper why. And I hope that you will take those exercises that my husband passed out, and I'll have some DVDs over here, and you can ask me questions. And I hope you'll start utilizing those in your day, and it'll start to change your mindset around activity and exercise and movement, because movement does matter and you matter. So let's tap into our limited greatness, all right? Let's take care of yourself. Let's eat plants. Let's love well, because with that, you and I together, we can really change the world. It's really that simple. So let's do that. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for allowing me to share with you. Blessings. And I'll be right over here for questions, or I can show you some other exercises if you've got a certain body part you're interested in learning more about. Thank you.